Alright, what I'm going to do here is show you guys how to do the Borax and Jello cure for some Salmon Roe. A lot of videos out there, a lot of them on the Borax cure. It's basically the same thing, but I did not find one actually that had the Jell-O ingredient also. Salt, sugar, borax, different mixtures, combinations. Everybody's got their thing they like to do, but I like to do just strawberry Jell-O and borax. So I just got two skeins here from a salmon from the Klamath River earlier this year. Just sending some small skeins, but the first thing I'm going to do is open them up. Cut them open here. And I like to lay out some parchment, or some people like to use newspaper, but the first thing I like to do is take them out, and I like to kind of just pat them dry a little bit with paper towel. And then what you want to do is cut open this membrane. You can see this membrane here. If you cut that membrane open, it'll really let you butterfly the eggs out, and what it'll really do is it'll allow the Borax and Jell-O to penetrate further into the eggs themselves instead of getting kind of hung up on the outside. That membrane is kind of what protects the skein. So what you can kind of do is open it up, kind of peel it open a little bit, peel back that membrane, and that's going to allow you to get access to all that. Some people like to cure the skein as a whole. Other people like to cut it up in small bits. Since this is kind of a smaller skein, I'm just going to go ahead and cure it whole. So kind of open it up, get access to it, and then I'll just open up the Jell-O. And this is strawberry Jell-O we're using this time. So I'll just cut that bad boy open. Sometimes when you open up that skein, you kind of got to cut back some more of this membrane, because you really want to access the eggs pretty good. But you don't want to cut all the membrane off, because that kind of what holds it together too. So, but if you open it up good, it'll just allow better access into the eggs for the borax and the Jell-O. So what I do is I just take the Jell-O and I sprinkle it right on there. And like I said, this is going to cause it to get some good color, and you can put quite a bit on there. But I like to put the Jell-O on there, and then I just like to let that Jell-O sit. It'll kind of liquefy a little bit as the liquid from the egg kind of sucks it in there and absorbs the Jell-O. It'll kind of just liquefy it a little bit. You can come over the back side if you want and cut open some of the membrane on the back side too. It's good to, the more you can get in there, the more the color is going to really get to it. So you can kind of spread this open. And sprinkle it all in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to let this dry. So maybe like an hour or something like that. I'm going to let it dry before I come back and do the borax cure. So that'll be the next step. Is once we let this all kind of dry up a little bit, it'll take on the color that you're looking for from the Jell-O. It's already taken on a really nice red color. And then what I'm going to do is once I let it dry, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the borax part of the cure. Alright, so I let this sit for about an hour. You come back, it feels a little bit tacky. It's still a little bit wet, but just kind of solidified up a little bit around the edges. And you can see that it's actually taken on a really nice color. So at this point, all you're left to do is you take your borax, and I just sprinkle it on pretty liberally. Put quite a bit on there. You can kind of pat it in there if you'd like. And flip it over. And I do the same on that side. And the borax is what's going to really cure the egg and make it last a long time. Some people like to throw it right in the freezer. It's, the end of November around Thanksgiving here, so our steelhead season's just about to start happening. So I probably won't put any of this in the freezer. It'll probably just stay in the refrigerator, because I'll be fishing here definitely in the next few weeks. But yeah, you can just put the borax on there, and that'll cure it all right up. It'll make it, you know, really durable. It'll make it stay on your egg loop a lot better. It'll last a lot better through a lot more casts through the run, and it'll just last a lot longer altogether. And like that's the whole point of curing up the roe. And then what I like to do, I like to take these containers. I get these containers that have a gasket around the top, and some of them seal really, really good. This one doesn't seal quite so good, but I like to take this type of container, and I'll just put it right in there. You can leave it out at room temperature for a little bit if you'd like, but since this one's just going in the refrigerator, I'm not going to freeze it. I'm just going to put it right in the refrigerator just like that. You can even throw a little bit of borax, extra borax in there with it. Doesn't really hurt to have more. But for the most part, that's going to be ready to fish. And just throw a little bit in there more with it. But yeah, over the next couple weeks here, when the rivers start flowing and the fish start running, I'm gonna have at least enough bait, fish a couple days probably, and I got another skein I can cure up also. But this will be the way to go. And then I'll just take this container with me. I just throw it right in the refrigerator. It's sealed up nicely, and then when I go fishing, I just take it with me. And like I said, some people like to cut it into bait-sized chunks ahead of time. I usually leave it just like this, and then when I'm out there on the river, I just have my little scissors, and I just cut it to size and put it right on my egg loop. And that's about it. And close it up tightly and throw it in the refrigerator, and we'll be ready to fish. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. But otherwise, tight lines and go get them.